And I told them the stories of how I started training and how I had to invest $250,000 that I didn't have to buy a franchise to learn how to teach from Blair Singer. And at that stage in my life, I had 3 months worth of profit in front to live on. So I did my corporate job. The reason I did that is because I knew that if I got stuck in what I don't have, I would come back to South Africa and I would have been stuck in what I don't have. And when I get what I need to get what I want to have, then I will have what I want to have. But that would never happen because now I have no skin in the game. You see, most people don't want to put skin in the game. Problem is, there's always skin in the game. But a lot of times the skin that's in the game is not permitted. But it's there, it exists. It exists. The question is, how much skin in the game are you prepared to commit? I wouldn't do what I do today. I wouldn't have had the experience that I have in life. I wouldn't have met any of you. I wouldn't have worked with any of you. I wouldn't do this breakfast. I wouldn't be jamming the Zoom tomorrow to work with one of my larger clients, Tiger Mill and Tyler, who I've worked with for the last 3 years. If in that moment I had stepped back and said, I don't have. You see, in that moment I knew that I don't have, but if I make this commitment, something will happen that I will find and force my way to find out and find a way to get what I need to have. The biggest thing holding us back in business and in life is our little voice based around what we don't have. And the inability for many people to actually step out and take a risk. You see, for whatever reason, the world has taught us that you can have what you want to have when you have what you want to have. Up until then. But having is creation. You create having. Does that make sense? It's creation. Business is creation. Sales is creation. That's why I love what Alan Walter says. Alan Walter says, salespeople create the future. But that young sales guy that sat in front of me and said he couldn't have the 2 books because he didn't have just created his future. And that future is I cannot learn right now because I do not have $600. And then his boss said, I tell you what, I will loan you the $600 at 40% interest over 3 months. And he said, well, and then he did what many people did. He started spouting or some bullshit about how he now had this idea and he was going to make it work. And in the next week, he would come and he would get the books from me. And I said, good for you, because my books are not going to cost you $1,000. And the reason his boss said 40% interest is because I told the story about my first business at boarding school. And I loaned other kids money at 40%. He thought it was a neat business model. Then I said to this young man, so let me explain this to you. If you borrow the $600 from your boss, you pay it off in the next 3 months. You learn about sales and you apply it. 1, you'll start making more commission and getting better at your job. Do you think that? He said, yes. I said, 2. You get access to the books now. You can learn. I said, 3, there's another 23 people sitting around this table who also want to read those books. So in my world, 23 times $30 is $690. So when you rent the books out to these 23 people who are too stingy to buy the books, you'll make money, pay your boss back, and get the 2 books for free.